Hello, and welcome back to the Summer of the Vampire. This is episode 6, and I don't have anything to say. Let's do this. Alright, we are in Whitechapel. Let's see, last time we talked to a guy. Did it save any of the information from us talking to him? Yes, Benjamin Palmer. And his son Albert. So, okay. District status serious. Alright, what's this over here? Your king and country need you. Join the British ranks and help the brave lads at the front. We got some meat hanging up. There's a sign. It says groceries. Okay. Oh, is that just a guy? Alright. It's like a bird or a cat sound in the back. Another guy just lying here. Are you dead? I guess so, because we just took his possessions off of him. Where's that from? Hello.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Who do we know? Like, that's familiar, Swanborough.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Oh, I already talked to him.
What do you think of
He was
the
that guy in that house.
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
I feel like you're selling snake oil, lady.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
And you're not running a scam, lady?
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Opium, alright. Ergotamine, potassium, codeine, alright. I have nothing else to say to you.
Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
Yeah.
A gun, alcohol, and
We
a
already
bad
talked to
temper
him
make
last
a terrible
time.
cocktail, so goodbye for now.
I'd like to find a hideout so I can make some cures to start giving out to folks down here. Prevent disease, careless spitting, sneezing, coughing, spread influenza, spread by droplets sprayed from nose and throat. Don't cough in public. Even though I am like double vaxxed up and everything, I still get really like anxious when I do have to cough in public. I'm like, I'm not sick, I promise. I'm just bad at breathing. Okay. Anyways, we've gone on this little tangent, running around Whitechapel. We are looking for Darius Petrescu. who is apparently inside this building.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Investigate his actions. He has bronchitis. No, I didn't want to
I will
do
return
that.
later.
I can do that thing where I can eavesdrop. How do I do that? There's that, and then... What did that do? Well, that's locked. Investigate citizens' actions. I'm trying. Here we go.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Okay. What did we just learn? He is the right arm of Dorothy Crane.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Let's see if this journalist is an antagonistic
Right,
character.
Good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever. Madness. Something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Alright, so we got attacked by some skulls.
How is business around here?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yeah, she's an excellent
Yes,
nurse.
she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Well, I'm in favor of, you know, free healthcare. You can quote me on that.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson's son, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You survive at any cost, even at the expense of others. Perhaps that's just the law of nature.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Oh, they had a falling out.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Alright.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
I'm gonna run back over and... Where is he? Talk to this guy. I want to see if we got any...
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you?
Any of the hidden hints unlocked? We did. We have one.
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Despair can be a poison.
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
All
Goodbye
right.
for now, Mr. Lewis.
are these folks?
Soon the time will come when you will all...
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Ooh,
Sorry,
we were looking
I'm
for
new to
him.
Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's
If
criminal.
no one stops it, this epidemic could turn into a scourge. It may kill more people than the war itself.
Yes, this is another kind of war, but just as deadly. History will judge us all for what we did and what we did not.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I care about the public health.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine
You
journalist,
read 'em.
Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out.
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
All right.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Well, he seemed like a nice man. Journalists and media always go one of two ways. They're either like good people. Sorry, they're either like terrible antagonists or like good people fighting to like get the truth out to the public. And very rarely is it anything in between. Blackmail in Whitechapel. Merchant. These are things I accidentally put. Where are my quest lists? Where's my quest list? You know, where it had like side quests. Local investigations. Like, where's that? Here we go. This is what I want to do. We're gonna go on a little tangent. and retrieve a box. Barrett Lewis, the bitter street merchant of Whitechapel, told some frenzied inhabitants in some old condemned workshops attacked him while he was looting the place for trinkets and tools. He had to drop his package to escape the assault and would like to retrieve the box. Maybe I should go and see for myself what is going on in those abandoned buildings. Who can read Braille? We'll do that one later, but... Find the mailbox. A flower bouquet. A small flower bouquet with a voucher for a free medical checkup hidden between the flowers. Interesting. Camellia. Oh, that's that mute florist that lady talked about. Darius Petrescu's letter. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry you have not heard from me in a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war, but there is also a war going on here in England, a war against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I am writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now and have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country. I am as ever your loving father, Darius Petrescu.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
This is a church? Are you the florist?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
And she's mute, my dude.
Very well. Goodbye then.
She said, piss off, I'm not gonna talk. Just more flower boxes. Okay. Where's the workhouse? Is this it? That's locked. Okay. Sorry we gotta... What was that? I know there's a button to sprint. Is it A or B? It's B. But that uses stamina.
Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle.
We'll come back and talk to all those folks here in a bit. But first we're gonna go on a little side quest, because that's exciting. Can I talk to you?
Burn it, boys!
Dang it. Is he using mustard gas on me?
He's dead! Killing's all you deserve!
Where's the guy with the gun? Where is he? There. What is that? Is that another sewer beast? So there's multiple sewer beasts. I mean, I hope it's not the same one. I killed him. Those guys were just standing there totally unaware of this sewer beast. You know, you gotta explore every nook and cranny. Oh, we can go even up there. I hear screaming. It's down there. Alright, we'll deal with that here in a minute. What's that? Ooh, we got a hatchet. New weapon. New weapon just dropped. Alright.
This could be the box Lewis thought he lost. There's a letter inside.
Well, can we snoop and read it? Snoop, snoop. We read that. We just have that. That's what it was. We were given the cordial by, that guy. Small box. Barrett, there's no oh my lord. Let's try that again. Barrett, there is no easy way to say it, so I'm going to be blunt. We can't keep on like this. At least we can't keep on like this. At least I can't keep on like this. If Joe ever finds out about us, about his wife and his best friend, it will crush him, and then he will kill you. We had some good time together, but let's face it, I'm never going to be your Jane Lewis. You know it, and I know it too, so I'm ending this. Right here and right now. If you agree with my decision, I'm sure we'll find a way to be happy again. You, Joe, and me, in time. And then the most important part of our story will have been preserved. Until that day, I wish you'd forgive me. Goodbye for now, Jane Peterson.
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife, addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Ooh, we can make a decision to reveal that that guy's wife had an affair or not. Intriguing. Let's ruminate on that, folks. Oh, where'd those skulls go? Oh, they're still there. Can I... Ready? Damn it! Why did it do that? Oh my god! Get off me! Snoop, 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 snoop. It sounds like there's a baby crying. What is that sound? Alright, we have everything from up here, I think. That scared me! Oh, he's dead? Yeah, that's right, stay down. That did startle me, though. Okay, so sewer beast is like a genus of species. Am I using those words correctly? It's its own thing. I believed that there was only one sewer beast, and we killed him in the sewer. But apparently not. Apparently sewer beast is just a species of creature. Yeah, we got everything here. Took out the guys out here. That is locked. Alright. Is there anything back here? No. Interesting. Did I not search this body? Okay, where am I? Choose what to do with the box. I can give it to Barrett Lewis or Joe Peterson. I'm gonna give it to Barrett Lewis. He was the one that asked me to find it, and frankly, it's not my business if that guy's wife is having an affair with him. I don't know that man.
Come on, we can sort it out, right? It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be Nate. Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? I found this box in an abandoned building nearby. I believe it belongs to you.
Let's have a look. Yeah, this is mine. So, you faced those loons that roam around there. Extraordinary.
I suppose I was lucky.
Luck is a commodity round here. Yours should be properly rewarded.
About this package, it's not just tools and trinkets, is it?
I want to be rude or anything after your kind gesture, but it's none of your business.
Barrett, you had an affair with Joe's wife, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. She's the only woman I loved. My first regret is that she stayed with Joe after Harry was born. The second is I never shed a tear when she died.
Do you mean you're Harry's father?
No one will ever know for sure. And it's better that way.
Ooh.
And I don't believe I'd have been all that bad as a dad.
Did you ever try talking to Joe?
Never. But I suspected he knew everything, even without knowing it. And he decided to make me pay in his own way.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Can I go talk to Peter?
You again? What do you want this time?
I was wondering if we'd unlocked
Goodbye,
anything.
Mr. Peterson.
Alright, now there are these people up here. I assume this man is proselytizing?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
The audacity.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I'm
Well,
listening.
I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
What's your plan?
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
How
Tell
will you
me,
cleanse
Tobias,
the city?
What exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son.
I'm sure those
if
are
you
cool
think salvation
references
is a
if I
free
got
gift,
them.
Go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Personal questions.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
There we go.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
I wish. I'm done talking to you.
I have had enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Where is his little thing? Do I know? Dang it. There are 2 more hints about him that we haven't unlocked. If we had all 4 hints unlocked, guys, I was gonna like use Mesmerize and take out our first civilian. Is this open? Yes. We'll go there in a minute. You're that journalist I spoke to. There was a lady I heard.
Pay me a bottle.
Here we go.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Can I keep that in? Or it's fine.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them
They
in
knew the
danger
risks.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
All valid complaints.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I don't judge
I
you.
always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
I'll help you out, girl. Like, I'll give you some money.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
All right.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna look at these people we've spoken to. Read their little clues. Clayton wants newspapers to print the truth about Whitechapel's situation. He's connected to Christina. Christina could not find any decent jobs because she was a migrant. This lady, Loretta Swanborough, who we have not learned anything about. We know both hints. We know 2 of 3 hints about Darius Petrescu. He does not want to see his children anymore to avoid being a burden to them. Well, I don't think that's entirely accurate based on the letter we read. It was more so like he can't make it back to Romania, so by default, he won't see them. Camellia secretly distributes medical vouchers for Dorothy Crane's dispensary. Benjamin Palmer. Barrett Lewis, we have all 3 hints about. He's in a tough financial situation because of Joe's extortions. Barrett and Joe Petrescu used to be good friends, and Barrett had an affair with Joe's wife. We have 2 of the hints about Joe Peterson. His extortions put Barrett Lewis in a tough financial situation, and him and Barrett Lewis used to be good friends. Look, we have all the doctors unlocked. Okay. And then Friar Tobias Whitaker, who we spoke to, only have 2 hints. And the other thing we're gonna do, citizen investigations. We're gonna go retrieve this guy. Father Tobias Whitaker is so convinced his crusade against the epidemic is the only solution to save London, that he sent Samuel, a devoted follower he sees as his son, to cleanse Stonebridge Cemetery. His disciple is supposed to purge the place from evil and pestilence, but something tells me the poor Samuel may be in quite a bad spot. Maybe I should go there and check on this fearless crusader by myself. So we're gonna track this.
I'm cheap and
Oh, trash can.
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye. Close.
What's this?
I can't believe I'm doing
Oh, this is a place to rest. A new hideout. Oh my gosh, guys. Guys, we have 2000 XP, which means that we can upgrade the Blood Spear. We're gonna do that in a second. What we're gonna do first is use this work table to analyze all the blood samples we have. Oh, I guess we don't have any more to... we're gonna recycle some stuff. This is still my best weapon. Cannot get it to level 3 yet. Oh, I wasn't done. I want to make some serums. Fatigue, cold, bronchitis, pneumonia. I want to make a cold treatment. I want to make a fatigue treatment. Make a bunch, because I feel like a lot of people we've run into have anemia or colds. Okay. And now we're gonna upgrade the Blood Spear. Blood Spear, Blood Spear, Blood Spear, Blood Spear. Okay. Now what? So it costs less blood. And that seems to be it. Maybe it's also more powerful. What are the next upgrades for Blood Spear that require level 12? We can, alright, so looking ahead, we can either make 3 small blood spears, which can hit all enemies facing you compared to the base ability. There's more to that. Range and individual damage is reduced. Or we can throw a large blood spear, which can pass through enemies in front of you. This massive projectile will deal greater damage than before. So just something to consider for the future. Oh. No, we're confirming. Major district events. Every night, the consequences of your actions may improve or degrade the district health status. It can also be degraded due to diseases spreading among citizens. Major district events. The more lives you take, the unhealthier a district becomes. If a district's health status drops below the critical threshold, it will plunge into chaos. It is for you to decide a district's fate. Oh, it's serious. Alright, so we need to, like, give some people some cures. Alright. It seems to mostly be migraines and fatigues. I don't know, that like took a second to load. I'm gonna make some more fatigue cures. Okay, well, I've made as many as I can.
This is despicable.
I did not realize going to rescue that guy from the cemetery would require me to backtrack so much. I'm going to wait
I have this thirst
to rescue
for
him from the
blood.
cemetery until I'm back in that direction. We are going to instead, we're gonna untrack. We're gonna go find Richard Nethercott.
Steady, boys! We've got one of them here!
Can I just leave? No. That blood spear kind of hit both of them. Why won't you let me hit you? Where's the other guy? Get blood speared. One. Get blood speared. Is that it? Did I kill them all? What's up there? What's this? Oh, we've already read that. It's about joining the military. Okay. So...
Best stay back, sir.
if I just run past, I don't have to engage in a fight and waste time. Alright. So, here's what we're gonna do.
There is no protection against malevolence and trickery.
I don't care about you. Mr. Journalist, I have a gift.
You are blinded by your false faith.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Medical checkup. Right button.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
We gave him a treatment for fatigue. Alright, so he's recovering.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
And where is... I guess she's a sex worker. What was her name? Christina. Where is she? He's healthy. They're both healthy. Okay, well, I guess if I come across Christina, I'll give her a treatment.
Even now, he judges your words and actions.
You don't get a treatment. You can choke, Mr. Hateful Pastor. Here she is.
Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
Absolutely free. We are all about
I'm shocked.
free
You would think I
healthcare.
am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Alright. Now we're gonna go around the back of the church to find Richard Nethercott. And then I think we will call it a day, folks. Where am I? There is nothing here. Well, I assume this was the right direction, because this is a lot of space for the creators of this game to animate if there's not anything to explore over there. Maybe it'll come into play later. What does this say? Quarantine influenza, keep out of this area. Order of the Board of Health. I cannot enter.
It's locked, all right.
Alright. Well, how am I supposed to get to Mr. Nethercott? Let's look at a map. Yeah, that's the way to get there. I guess I could go around the other way from the building. That might be an option.
You are blinded by your false faith.
Is a gate I can enter? Yes. Okay. The fact that it's making me go the long way around a building makes me think I'm gonna have to fight. Yep, there we go. Oh my god, there's 3. It's curtains for you, buddy. That's just somebody. Oh, we got a cigarette case. I was standing outside yesterday, and I was outside my apartment building, and this guy came up to me and asked if I had any cigarettes he could bum. I've never had that happen to me before. I've also had people come up to me and ask if I have any weed I can spare, and the answer is always no. So, influenza frequently complicated with pneumonia. We've already read a sign that reads that. Alright. I feel like the guy we're looking for is going to be dead. That's my little prediction. Once again, the fact that I can explore these areas makes me think I would be able to find something. Hey man, you're lucky you're not dead.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is
terrible,
a tragedy.
my dude.
But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Oh my god. Exact same energy as people at the beginning of the epidemic that were like, oh, humans are the real virus. Like, shut up. Shut up. Don't say that.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
I want to punch this guy in the face.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
I wonder if I'd be like as heated and as pressed about the stuff this guy is saying if I had not just lived the past year in quarantine.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises
I
me.
wonder why.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Not me. Not me. I'll leave you. I'll leave you to die.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Same energy as that episode of BoJack Horseman where Diane goes to Vietnam and the like American guy in the bar starts talking to her thinking that she's like a native from Vietnam because she's like Vietnamese but doesn't realize that she's American, and she just pretends that she doesn't speak English for like 3 weeks. Like, same energy.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
He really said, she's my ye old Manic Pixie Dream girl.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
Disgusting. Women are people.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Did you know the Mute Florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious Camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Okay, we did that. We did that. Here we go.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
All right.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
All right.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Good.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
All right.
Oh, Camellia, the silent flower of Whitechapel, an angel made flesh.
Do we? Where is he? Dang it. We only know one one of his hints.
I tell you.
Alright, let's snoop in this cemetery. Dang, nothing here for me to snoop. Okay. Okay, we are ending the episode there. Next time, we're gonna go find Darius Petrescu and convince him to let us into his house. I don't think we've entered any residences in this game. Like, I don't think we've gone into anyone's house. So I will be interested to see if this game has the vampire rule that they have to be invited into a house in order to enter. I don't think it will, but I think it would be cool if it did, but I won't hold my breath. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you very soon as we continue the Summer of the Vampire.